Um, Morning. Well, it's morning over here, and New York. So I just want to talk a bit. Um, since I have all like these ideas and things in my head, we gotta just get them out. So first of all, I just want to thank every single person that is watching my videos. Whether it be bubble videos or just like discussion videos, I really appreciate it. Um, I started doing YouTube maybe about 4 or 5 months ago. I don't know. I had to check like my first video, but so far it's actually been really fun. I haven't done YouTube before because, well, I don't know, like being in front of a camera, talking and everything like that, just like very shy person to an extent. So I've never thought that I would be doing it, but here I am. So I for the person that for the guy that asked me like why I actually have a schedule, I do want to make a schedule, um not just for my audience but also for myself. I don't want my videos to just be like very random. I want people to know like when my videos will come out, start uploading like weekly, like a set schedule. But sometimes it's kind of difficult to do that because of my job and the random days and hours that I get. But I will try to make a more valiant effort as far as doing a schedule. I don't know. It's weird because back when I was in college, and I'm showing my age a little bit, but back when I was in college, I used to listen to the Howard Stern show. And I always sit there and think like how cool it was that he had a job where he could just sit there and just talk about fun stuff, that like fun shit that he was really interested in. And to some extent, I never realized how hard it was, like to be able to like, I don't know. It's the thing about YouTube is that like you're not just talking to a camera, you know. Um, you don't want to sit there and just start rambling and stuff like that, just prattling, going on and on and on. You kind of want to have your thoughts like very focused and concise. And I'm learning that as I go along. So I thank every single person that is being patient as far as just listening to me. I try not to make my videos too long, but sometimes when I'm depends on like if I'm really passionate about what I'm talking about or I'm really interested, sometimes it does go over the runtime, so I do apologize for that. And I say that because there are times where I will listen to certain YouTubers, um, or sometimes like I subscribe to certain people, and then I'll check their runtime, and they'll be like, "Ooh, 17 minutes. That's kind of long." But if it's someone I like let's say Eric Reload or like Matt Jarbo, like depending on what he's talking about, because I do have my gripes with him, but even John Campia, I do have some of my gripes with. But if it's a topic that I am interested in, I will sit there and listen to it, depending on how long it is. So I do want to kind of get into a habit of making even like a set amount of time, but sometimes it may go over. So what else? Oh, in one of my videos, I talked about John Campia and the whole crisis thing and how his input wasn't needed, and I still do feel that way, but I did kind of come across as it was very negative, and I kind of came off very defensive, but I don't know, I didn't like the fact that he doesn't really have knowledge about what he's talking about. You have to understand if this guy is just sitting there watching, if he's just watching the Arrowverse for the crisis, like for the crossovers, it's like you really shouldn't be like. It's like okay. somebody said that it wasn't a good idea for me to be sitting there censoring people on YouTube, whether it's John Campea or anyone else. And to a certain extent, I do agree. But sometimes it's kind of hard to hold my tongue where if somebody I feel doesn't have knowledge about what they're talking about and they're just talking about it just to jump on a bandwagon, because you have to remember, during that whole setting leading up to Crisis on Infinite Earths, there was a lot of buzz. There was a lot of, people were really hyped about it. So I felt like he just kind of jumped on the bandwagon just to get like more followers, and it was popular at the time, so he wanted to talk about it. And it just, for me, it just kind of came across as very disingenuous. Like, I'm just starting off, so I don't really have that many subs. I am really grateful for the subs that I do have. But I don't want to ever get to a point where I feel like I'm doing stuff just to get more subs, or I'm doing stuff just to get more views. Because that doesn't really make me any better than some of the other people that do shit just to get attention. I feel like it should be some sort of balance. Like, you should do something where it does grab people's attention, but you're doing it because you want to do it. You're not doing it because it's just the cool thing to do. And I've seen a lot of people do that. Hell, I've seen a lot of people do that actually has a shitload of fucking subscribers. That gets views daily. But they do it because they want to be fucking view whores or they want to be fucking sub whores. And I never want to get to that point where I'm doing stuff just because. Like, if I do, if I do a bubblegum video, I do it because I want to. It's fun, and I enjoy doing it. If I talk about something like Monique or racism or whatever, I'm doing it because I want to do it. Now, granted, if one of my subs wants me to sit there and talk about a certain topic, I'll talk about that. I have no problem with that. I want it to be fun. I want it to be fun. I want this whole YouTube thing to be fun. And I do know that there are people that get to a certain amount of subscribers and you start making money off of it. And I guess my whole thing is like, if you can do something that you love and you get paid for it, you're not really working. So, and even though I don't get paid off of YouTube, like, or whatever, I still love doing it. It's weird. I like talking about shit. I mean, I think most people like talking about stuff, without trying to sound like they're so like fucking super interested. But I like talking about shit. Current events, pop culture stuff, bubblegum videos. I really love doing that stuff too. So, but again, if anyone has stuff that they want me to talk about, whether it's other YouTubers, and here's the thing, I don't do like with Alex from Predator Poachers. I'm not doing it to get attention. I'm not doing it to get views or subs. I'm doing it because I genuinely do love the movement that people are trying to do. Like Pop Squad and OPP, all those groups. Hell, even Predator Poachers, I do love the movement. But my problem, here's my issue with him. Well, I mean, I'm not going to sit there and re-go over it, but I already said it a couple of times. It's not so much as what he does, it's how he does it that I have issue with. And, I get that, in his video, he pretty much said, hey, I was bored one day and, I was watching some YouTube stuff and I wanted to see if I can do it, so I decided to go out and do it, and he's been doing it ever since. And I don't have a problem with him, joining the movement and joining the cause and stuff like that, but don't fuck it up for the people that have been doing it longer than you, that have been doing it better than you. And what I mean better, I mean by professional. Because a lot of times in his videos, I feel like he makes it more about him than the actual person he's trying to catch. And that's not really original. A lot of people have actually said that. I'm just one of the many people that have said it. The thing is, I keep saying it because I hope that at some point that he'll get to a point where he's just like, oh, you know what? Maybe being a class clown isn't really that great. When you're having more attention on you than the person you're trying to catch, it's a bad thing. Trust me, it's a bad thing. Especially when you're going about it in this jackass manner. You know, you look at Pop Squad, he asks questions and stuff like that. And listen, I'm not saying that he's perfect. I'm pretty sure he has flaws like everyone else. But his heart is in the right place and he's doing it very professional. So I'm going to support the dude. And it's not to sit there and say I won't support Alex either. It just, I don't know. Like I said, the way he goes about it is just, I'm not a fan. But just in general, if I talk about like Matt Jarbo, if I talk about John Campea, I'm not going at them for attention. I'm talking about them because I genuinely do like their stuff. And it's weird because I feel like I do kind of get a little bit of inspiration from them because I see them go on camera and they enjoy what they do. You know, they enjoy talking about these topics and they're very passionate about it. Even when they get upset, it's like, you know what? It's still good because it shows that they have passion and they have commitment. And I do want to get to that point. I do want to get to that point where, I mean, you know, like on a more professional level as far as like camera setup and things of that nature. And, you know, I watched somebody, he was talking about, you know, starting off on YouTube and about how you have to like, you know, get better equipment and things of that nature. Here's the thing, and I think that that's all good, and I do want to get to a point where I do get a better setup. But here's the thing, rather you know, it doesn't matter if somebody's talking on a camera or if they're talking like, you know, on a professional shit. If they're for me personally, if they're interesting and, you know, they talk about stuff with passion and stuff, I'm going to watch them no matter what their setup is. So I do want to get to a point where I am on that level. So I do want to thank the subscribers that I do have. Not to sit there and say it's like small or whatever, but like I do want to thank every subscriber that I do have. And I do want to thank every single person that has commented on my videos. Good or bad. It's actually pretty interesting and it's really nice seeing the comment section. So please continue commenting. I do want to grow this channel, so you know, if you want to recommend it to your friends and share it and stuff like that, I really do appreciate it. Not just because my subscription is so low, but I do want to get to a point where I am actually making money off of doing it. Even if it's not like a boatload of money, and I never want to get to a point again where it's just about the money. I do see people, I see people that have way more subscriptions than me do actually make a pretty good chunk of change and still complain about it. And you know, the thing about YouTube is that it's an ever-growing, changing platform. So while these people were really successful way back then, it's changing. And hell, I don't actually, you know, I don't think at this point, you know, you should give up your job to be doing YouTube full time because it's always changing. You know, the people that have quit their jobs and decide to do YouTube, hold on. The people that actually have quit their jobs and decided to just do YouTube, you know, for a full-time job, I always find it to be very risky. Especially from the stuff that I heard, like with the whole apocalypse and stuff like that, and like, you know, your income changes. You know, I've seen people that, you know, again, I've talked to people, I've watched people that has income that has gone up and down and up and down, and it's like, hell, I don't want to be in that position, you know, where that's my only job, my only income, and I'm relying on it to a point where my income is going up and down, because it changes how you do your videos. You know, you start doing videos more for ads and clicks and stuff rather than you're doing it because you're passionate about whatever you're doing, you know? I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I felt like YouTube was just never Like it never started off that way. People did videos just because they wanted to, get their name out there, their faces out there, whatever. But they weren't doing it to a point where it's like, oh, I gotta sit there and try to get more views. That way I can get more money. I can get more advertisers. And I gotta sit there and not curse so much because I want my stuff to be advertiser friendly. It's like, do it because you're passionate at what you do. Yes, when you do have a following and people start asking you to do stuff or talk about certain topics, yeah, I think you should do that. But I also think you should be true to yourself, though. You know? Like, if somebody asks me to do a certain video or whatever, if I can do it, I'll definitely do it. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to sit there and not do my bubblegum videos or whatever, you know? So it's a fine balance. And one more thing before I go. When I talk about fine balance, like I look at a channel like Robert Storm. There was maybe a couple weeks ago, he did a poll on his community tab page part where his views started going down. And what I mean by down, I mean like it was like 500. So even 500 is fucking great for me, but his views started going down, and he was asking why. And people were giving their input and stuff. And it's weird because there were certain things that I've just never looked at that I probably have done, like as far as like there was no saying he was being too negative, he was cursing too much. I never thought that cursing was that much of a thing, but and then there was obviously there's some people that were just being fucking jackasses to them, but I do hope that he does take his criticism with a grain of salt. I don't think that he should. I don't know. I don't want to sit there and say like he should change because he is asking for input, and so therefore he is trying to change himself to grow himself to be a better YouTuber. But I don't want him to start. I don't want him to change to the point where he starts doing stuff that goes against his core principles. If that makes any sense. So yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to start working on the outro, an intro and an outro. I don't know, maybe when I start to get to that professional level or whatever and I think about it long enough, I'll do it. But until then, thanks for watching my videos. And, share, subscribe. Well, you already subscribed. But share my videos. It definitely will help out. And again, I do want to start to get to a point where I am making a schedule and doing a more where my shit is not just so random, I don't want it to be like a Tuesday and like a Thursday or whatever, but like it's a more set schedule. So thanks for the input, thanks for the comments, and the next time.